Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take all those complex sources you send us, the articles, the notes, the deep research, and we really boil it down, give you the essential insight, cutting through all the noise so you can get up to speed fast.
And today, we're definitely diving deep. We're looking at, well, a really treacherous landscape here. It's all secret schemes, corporate backstabbing, and some pretty intense personal betrayals.
Yeah, it's a tangled web.
It really is. We've got a lot of material today outlining essentially two major plots unfolding at the same time. They seem different on the surface, but, structurally quite similar.
Oh, so?
Both driven by obsession and, maybe more importantly, a willingness by the main players to sacrifice trust, like immediate trust for what they think is some necessary long-term goal.
Right, that theme of betrayal, or maybe the architecture of betrayal, as you put it. So the core conflicts we're tracking. First, Billy Abbott. He's making his biggest, maybe most reckless gamble yet, and it's aimed squarely at Victor Newman, as usual.
Classic Billy versus Victor, but maybe amplified this time.
And running right alongside that, we've got Mariah Copeland. She's got this incredibly secret plot going on involving her wife, Tess Supporter, and surprisingly, Daniel Romalotti.
Which is a whole different kind of high-stakes situation.
Yeah.
So our goal today isn't just to recap the plot points. You can get that anywhere.
Exactly.
You need to really unpack the danger in these alliances, the Billy Kane partnership, what's really going on there. And then this Michael Baldwin situation, acting as a go-between or maybe a spy for Victor. It's complicated.
A potential triple cross based on the sources.
Could be. And then we pivot to the emotional side, analyzing the cost of what Mariah seems to be doing. This calculated self-sabotage, maybe. We need to understand the why. Why do these characters think burning bridges, sacrificing relationships is the only way forward?
Okay, let's start with the corporate chaos then. Billy Abbott. It feels like everything always comes back to Billy versus Victor Newman in Genoa City. But the sources suggest this time, the stakes aren't just, corporate bragging rights. They feel almost existential for Billy.
Right. And the root of Billy's current, let's call it a destructive path. It's not exactly new, is it? But the intensity, that feels like it's ramped up significantly.
It always comes back to Chancellor.
Always. He is still, according to everything we're seeing, intensely, maybe even pathologically obsessed with the fact that his mother, Jill Abbott, sold Chancellor Industries to Victor Newman.
And that wasn't just losing a company for him, was it?
No, not at all. It's like an identity crisis. Chancellor, even when Jill was running it, it represented his family legacy, maybe his only real connection to a sense of legitimate purpose or standing in the city.
Especially compared to the Newmans or even the Abbotts sometimes.
Exactly. So when Victor bought it, Billy didn't just feel like he lost a business deal. He felt robbed. Robbed of his place, his birthright maybe. The sale became the ultimate insult from Victor in his mind.
So the goal now isn't just payback, it's bigger.
Oh, it's total war, according to these sources. Billy's stated goal isn't just to, annoy Victor or pull some fast one. He wants Chancellor back. And he believes the only way to do that is by taking down Victor Newman completely.
Dismantling Newman Enterprises, that sounds ambitious, even for Billy.
It's huge. It goes way beyond typical corporate rivalry. This is about vengeance, yes, but also maybe personal obliteration, wiping Victor off the map.
But Billy's tried things like this before, lots of times, and usually.
They end spectacularly badly, yes. High risk, lots of flash, then flames.
So why does he think this time is different? What's changed?
The variable is Kane Ashby. Billy sees Kane as his ally of necessity.
Someone who hates Victor as much as he does.
Pretty much. And Kane seems to be providing what Billy thinks is the missing piece.
Yeah.
Real leverage. Kane isn't just suggesting they team up. He's apparently applying serious pressure. Telling Billy, just say yes, and we start taking Newman apart.
Wow, so Kane is really pushing this.
Yeah, for Kane, the objective seems perfectly aligned with Billy's destroy Victor's dominance. And crucially, Kane is offering something specific. A tool, maybe. Something that makes this scheme feel more viable than Billy's past, let's be honest. Often kind of amateurish attempts.
A new weapon in the arsenal.
Seems like it. And that shared goal, plus this promise of new leverage, it cements the alliance. But, it feels like it's built on quicksand. Because even as Billy is shaking hands with Kane, his own life, personal and professional, is just crumbling around him. Hashtag tag 1.2, Sally Spectra's frantic plea, and the financial cliff.
Right, which brings us to Sally Spectra. She's right in the middle of this, isn't she?
Painfully so. As Billy gets deeper in with Kane, Sally sees the train wreck coming. She is desperately pleading with him, apparently, to just walk away from Kane.
She thinks this alliance is toxic.
Completely. She's terrified it's going to ruin everything they've been trying to build together, professionally, personally, the whole package.
And her fear isn't just like abstract worry, it's tied to something concrete that just happened.
Very concrete. A huge financial and professional blow that she suffered directly because of Billy's, well, Billy being Billy, his instability and his family's reaction to it.
You're talking about Abbott-Com.
Exactly. Jack Abbott pulled the funding, just yanked the rug out. And this wasn't just some minor setback. Abbott-Com was supposed to be Sally's baby. She was going to run it.
It was her comeback, right, after everything else.
It was her redemption, her fresh start, proof that her partnership with Billy could actually work, be legitimate, after all the hits her reputation took.
So losing Abbott-Com is huge for her. She gave up a lot for this chance with Billy.
Absolutely devastating. She walked away from a high-profile fashion career, remember. Put it all on red, betting on Billy in this shared future. Now suddenly Abbott-Com vanishes. Poof.
And she feels adrift.
Professionally marooned is a good way to put it. She's apparently frantic, feeling like she has absolutely nothing to show for this massive sacrifice she made.
How's Billy taking this? Does he see her point?
His response is, well, it's classic Billy justification, and it's deeply alarming, frankly. He insists that because Jack backed out, and get this, he apparently admits Jack had good reason to back out.
Wow, a moment of self-awareness.
Maybe, but he twists it. He uses Jack pulling out as proof that Kane is now their only shot at success. He's framing Kane not as a dangerous gamble, but as the necessary, inevitable next step, because his own family, Jack, abandoned him.
Oh, so it's Jack's fault he has to work with Kane now.
That's the spin. It's a self-pitying rationale, really.
But Sally's not buying it.
Not for a second. She sees right through it. She believes Kane is actively leading Billy, and because she's tied to Billy, leading her too straight off a cliff.
And without Abbott-Com, there's no safety net for her.
Exactly. If Billy crashes and burns this time, she has nowhere to land. She reminds him, quite directly according to the sources, what she gave up. Her career, her reputation, putting it all on the line for him.
People warned her, didn't they, about Billy's patterns?
Oh, yeah. The sources mentioned she was explicitly warned about his cyclical, self-destructive behavior. And now, it's happening again, right on schedule. So she's basically saying enough. It's a demand rooted in self-preservation. Choose stability, choose us, or choose Kane in this vengeance quest. Hashtag 1.3, the blackmail plan and the ultimatum.
Okay, so he's doubling down on Kane, but how does he plan to actually use Kane's leverage? This leads to what you called the Billy Big Talk.
Right. It's this staggering display of hubris, maybe delusion. He claims he doesn't actually need to deploy whatever Kane has. Let's talk about that for a second. Kane apparently has some kind of illegal AI software.
Illegal AI? What does that even mean in this context?
The sources imply it's serious stuff, not just, a fancy algorithm. Technology capable of potentially destabilizing complex financial systems, manipulating data, maybe crashing markets, stuff that definitely violates security protocols, financial regulations, you name it. It's basically a technological weapon Kane is holding.
Okay, that sounds incredibly dangerous, and Billy thinks he can control that.
He thinks he doesn't even need to use it directly. His grand strategy, he calls it light blackmailing.
Light blackmailing of Victor Newman. Is he serious?
It sounds utterly absurd, doesn't it? His plan is apparently to go to Victor and say, hand over Chancellor Industries, or I will ruin Newman Enterprises. Not by using the AI, but just by threatening to expose its existence and what it can do.
He thinks the threat alone is enough to make Victor fold. Victor Newman.
Let's just pause on that. Light blackmailing Victor Newman. It's like talking about a minor inconvenience when a meteor is heading for your house. Victor has spent decades, literally decades, crushing people for far less.
Any perceived threat, any challenge, he meets with overwhelming force.
Maximum force. Especially something involving corporate espionage and potentially illegal tech. So the question is Billy genuinely delusional? Does he not understand who he's dealing with? Or does he truly believe Kane's leverage, this AI, is so unprecedented, so terrifying, that it will actually paralyze Victor?
I lean towards the latter, but maybe wrapped in a thick layer of denial about the consequences. He thinks this AI is the silver bullet he's always lacked in his fights with Victor.
Could be, but Sally. She sees the cold, hard reality. Billy isn't being clever, he's gambling. With his life, with her life, with both their futures, all based on the threat of some illegal technology provided by a man he barely knows and can't really trust.
And she knows she can't stop him.
Yeah, the sources note she recognizes he's unlikely to listen to her at this point. He's too far gone down this path.
Which forces her hand.
Completely. That realization pushes her to the absolute limit. The relationship itself is now on the line, outweighing any corporate maneuvering. She issues the firmest ultimatum possible.
Is it?
Basically. Stop this madness with Kane now or we are done. Our relationship is over. It's not a plea anymore. It's a boundary. She's trying to save herself from the inevitable implosion she sees coming. Hashtag tag tag 1.4, the fallout and external reactions.
And the moment that ultimatum is out there, the fallout starts spreading.
Immediately. Sally, obviously deeply distressed, needing someone to talk to, maybe looking for backup, she seeks out Diane Jenkins Abbott.
Billy's sister-in-law now, right? Close to Jack.
Exactly. Sally confirms to Diane that yes, Jack did pull the Abbott.com funding, and Diane, naturally, asks if Billy's okay. She's worried about his state of mind.
And Sally doesn't mince words.
Not at all. Her response tells you everything about her faith, or lack thereof, in Billy's judgment right now. She tells Diane, flat out, no, Billy is not all right, and then confirms her worst fear. He is about to make the biggest mistake of his life.
She's basically sending up a flare, trying to get his family involved, maybe hoping they can intervene.
It feels like a desperate move, yeah, because the consequences for Billy are just piling up so fast, isolating him completely.
Let's list them. He's lost Abbott.com, his one legitimate project with Sally.
Gone. His brother, Jack, is pretty much done with him, according to the sources. Fed up with this endless cycle of recklessness.
And now, he's on the verge of losing Sally. Possibly the only person left who is actively fighting for his stability, for a future that didn't involve blowing everything up.
Right. So, you look at the immediate future. If Sally follows through on her ultimatum, if Billy pushes her away, what's left for him?
Nobody left but Kane.
It was that way. Nobody left but Kane, a man armed with illegal tech, driven by his own destructive agenda, and someone Billy fundamentally cannot trust.
Oh.
He'd be marching down a road with no coming back from it, totally alone.
Which makes him incredibly vulnerable to Kane's influence.
Absolutely. Total isolation creates a perfect vacuum for manipulation. Kane could really steer him anywhere at that point.
But there's a potential wild card mentioned.
Yes, a critical detail dropped in the sources. Billy's mother, Jill Abbott, is apparently due back in town soon.
Jill. Okay, she has a history of being able to get through to him sometimes.
She's one of the very few. She has managed to talk sense into him in the past, or at least, redirect his worst self-destructive impulses.
But can she do it this time? Given how deep this Chancellor obsession runs and the level of rage he seems to be operating on.
That's the million-dollar question. Is even Jill powerful enough to pull him back from a scheme that promises him the ultimate prize? Victor's total downfall and getting Chancellor back? It's highly uncertain.
Okay, so that's the Billy, Kane, Sally triangle, a mess of obsession and potential ruin. But if that's the chaotic frontline war, Part 2 reveals this incredibly complex intelligence war happening just beneath the surface.
Yes, this is where it gets really intricate. The fight between Billy, Victor, and Kane isn't just A versus B. It's like a multi-layered espionage thriller. And the key figure, the pivot point, seems to be Michael Baldwin.
Playing a very dangerous double-sided role.
Extremely. What's fascinating is how fast the countermoves happen. Even as Kane is trying to lock down his alliance with Billy to go after Newman Enterprises.
He's making other moves.
Right. He's already setting up his own operational structure. He recruits Michael Baldwin, the former DA, respected lawyer, to be his fixer, and he insists on absolute secrecy about their arrangement.
But Kane's move was anticipated.
It seems Victor Newman was one step ahead. In a classic Victor move, Kane's been preempted. Billy, who thinks he's forging this powerful new alliance, has absolutely no idea that Victor already has a spy deep inside Kane's nascent operation.
And that spy is Michael Baldwin.
The very man Kane just hired as his confidential fixer. Michael is apparently reporting everything straight back to Victor. So Kane thinks he's setting up a secret channel, but Victor is already listening in, manipulating the flow of information.
A ready-made intelligence loop?
Exactly. And the first piece of intel Michael brings back is critical. It gives Victor immediate insight into Kane's strategy.
What was Kane's first order for Michael?
Go make nice with Phyllis Summers. Rebuild bridges, get close to her again.
Phyllis.
Okay.
She always seems to be near the center of trouble. Why Phyllis?
That's the question Victor and Michael likely have too. But Kane wanting Michael to cozy up to Phyllis immediately provides actionable intelligence for Victor.
And Michael reported this right away.
Instantly, according to the sources. So Victor and Michael have already established a clear trigger point, a way to test the waters.
Who's the trigger?
If Phyllis confirms to Michael directly that she is actively scheming with Kane, If she spills the beans and admits they're colluding on some plot, then Victor and Michael will know. They'll know Kane is a serious, active threat, and they need to take decisive, aggressive action against him immediately.
So they're using Phyllis as a sort of litmus test for Kane's intentions.
Precisely. It's an intelligence checkmate move, waiting for confirmation from a third party before striking. Hashtag tag 2.1 Michael Baldwin's secret mission.
But here's where it gets even murkier. Michael's own justification for doing this. He's not just acting like Victor's loyal soldier.
No, he's framing it very differently, at least when he talks to Victor. This adds a fascinating layer of psychological complexity. Michael presents himself not as Victor's spy, but as almost a neutral arbiter, someone dedicated to preserving stability.
How does he put it?
He apparently told Victor he's only doing this spying to prevent a war between the families. The Abbotts, the Newmans, maybe others caught in the crossfire.
So he's positioning himself as a peacekeeper.
Exactly. He explicitly denies doing Victor's dirty work. He denies trying to sabotage anyone. He claims he genuinely feels he is working for peace in Genoa City. He's not working for Victor, you see. He's working for this higher ideal.
That's quite a rationalization. Can someone embedded in one side's intelligence operation, reporting directly to the leader, really claim neutrality?
It raises a huge question, doesn't it? He's actively participating in Victor's counterintelligence scheme, feeding him information specifically gathered from Victor's rival. Yet he argues he's serving some nonpartisan goal of peace.
It sounds like a moral tightrope walk at best, or maybe ego, believing he's somehow above the fray, manipulating events for the greater good.
That's definitely a possibility. It allows him to feel righteous while still engaging in espionage.
I have to say, I'm skeptical. While wanting peace might be genuine, his actions, his actual function in this scenario is serving Victor's intelligence apparatus. Period.
Agreed. True neutrality would mean either staying out completely or maybe reporting Kane's actions to, say, the authorities, not just to Victor. The moment he agreed to be Victor's eyes and ears inside Kane's operation, he picked a side, whether he admits it to himself or not. Hashtag 2.2 Michael's claimed motivation versus the reality.
Okay, but let's push this further. The real strategic mind-bender here is, does Kane know? Is Kane actually fooled by Michael's act or by his history with Victor?
That's the most intriguing possibility raised by the sources. Kane is no fool. He's a very savvy operator himself. His decision to hire Michael Baldwin, a man with decades of deep ties to Victor Newman, as his confidential fixer. It's suspicious on its face.
It seems almost too convenient for Victor.
Right, so the sources explicitly float this idea. What if Kane hired Michael knowing he was Victor's spy? Or at least strongly suspecting it and operating under that assumption?
If Kane assumed Michael would run straight to Victor, how does that change things?
It flips the entire dynamic on its head. If Kane knows Michael is reporting back, then Michael isn't Victor's spy anymore. He becomes Kane's unwitting messenger.
Kane would be controlling the information flow to Victor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kane could be using Michael as a reliable, trusted conduit to feed Victor carefully curated information, strategic misinformation. Things Kane wants Victor to believe.
Why would he do that? To mislead Victor?
Could be. Make Victor waste resources chasing ghosts. Maybe react prematurely to a manufactured threat. Divert his attention from Kane's real plan.
Or worse.
Or, even more ruthlessly, Kane could use Michael to feed Victor real, actionable intelligence, but only about people Kane himself considers expendable.
Yeah.
Sacrificial pawns to make the intel look legitimate while protecting his core operation.
That would turn Michael from Victor's ace-in-the-hole spy into Kane's highly effective but completely unaware double agent.
Precisely. It sets up this incredibly sophisticated triple-cross scenario. Victor thinks he has a mole. Michael thinks he's a peacekeeper, or maybe just doing Victor's bidding. But Kane might actually be the puppet master, using both of them, controlling the narrative through Victor's own spy.
Wow. The stakes, then, aren't just about corporate assets anymore. It's about intellectual dominance. Who can outthink and outmaneuver the other in this shadow war?
It all hinges on Kane's foresight and whether he anticipated Victor's move with Michael.
This constant theme, this reliance on secrecy, hiding true intentions, whether it's Michael hiding his loyalty or Kane potentially hiding his master plan, it seems to define this corporate conflict.
It does. And if we broaden the lens, we see that exact same toxic reliance on secrets, on hidden motives, is simultaneously tearing apart a marriage.
Okay, let's pivot now. From the boardroom battles and espionage games to something deeply personal but carrying just as much potential for emotional devastation. We're talking about Mariah Copeland.
Yeah, this storyline is quite different. but shares that core theme of secrecy leading to potential disaster. Mariah is apparently plotting something significant behind her wife, Tessa Porter's, back.
Suggesting that secrecy isn't just a corporate tool in Genoa City, it's the weapon of choice for self-destruction in personal lives, too.
And the shock here, the immediate jolt, is who Mariah has chosen as her partner in this secret plot.
Daniel Romolani.
Daniel Romolani, who, as the sources put it, is truly the last person you would expect, given the very sensitive, very intimate context of what seems to be unfolding. Hashtag tag 3.1, the unexpected alliance.
What makes Daniel such a surprising and frankly problematic choice here?
It's all about the existing emotional landscape between Daniel and Tessa. Mariah knows she's not naive about this, that Daniel has been getting closer to Tessa lately. She's apparently seen them together multiple times.
And Daniel's feelings for Tessa aren't exactly a secret either, right?
Not at all. It's pretty well known that Daniel has harbored deep, probably long-standing feelings for Tessa, feelings that go back to before she even got together with Mariah.
So, by bringing Daniel into her secret plan, Mariah is actively involving someone she knows is essentially a romantic rival.
Yes, she's intentionally drawing this specific third party into the heart of her marital situation. And the secrecy is paramount. Mariah initiated this. She asked Daniel to meet her secretly, in the park, specifically away from anyone who might see them, especially Tessa.
And Daniel agreed to the secrecy.
He did. When they met, Mariah's first order of business was to confirm he'd kept it quiet. Did you do what I asked? And Daniel explicitly confirmed. Yes, Tessa does not know he's there meeting her.
So Daniel is now actively deceiving Tessa, colluding with her wife about something?
Exactly. He's participating in a secret arrangement, keeping his crush completely in the dark at the request of her wife. That's a complicated starting point. Hashtag tag 3.0, the context of the betrayal.
And this secret meeting isn't just out of the blue. It follows some really concerning behavior from Mariah recently, doesn't it? Behavior that suggests she's unstable or pulling away.
Absolutely. We need to look at the context here. Mariah's recent actions paint a picture of someone deliberately creating distance, maybe even dismantling her own life.
Like the legal separation.
That's a huge one. According to the sources, Mariah was the one who insisted on the legal separation. She pushed for the formal paperwork. She even created the visitation schedule for their daughter, Aria.
Those are very deliberate, proactive steps, not just drifting apart.
Not at all. That's actively fracturing the legal and practical structure of their family. It strongly suggests a premeditated plan for self-removal, maybe.
And then there was that shocking confession she made to Tessa.
Even more alarming, yes. Mariah recently confessed to Tessa that she almost killed a man, referencing that incident where she held a pillow over someone's face.
Which was incredibly disturbing. What was the point of confessing that now?
It wasn't just getting something off her chest, it seems. It felt like a deeply unsettling moment that maybe suggests Mariah is grappling with her own stability, her control. Perhaps she even sees herself as a potential danger to her own family.
Wow, so if you put it all together, the violent confession, pushing for legal separation, creating distance, and now a secret meeting with Daniel.
You synthesize those actions, and it points very strongly towards Mariah being in profound emotional turmoil. And maybe she's reached a conclusion that she is no longer safe or stable enough to be the partner Tessa needs or deserves. She seems to be preparing for a major exit. Hashtag tag 3.3, Mariah's troubling recent behavior and the implied purpose.
An exit? You mean leaving town?
The narrative strongly suggests that. The sources use phrases like Mariah's taking off for a while, potentially leaving town entirely.
Okay, so if she's planning to leave, why the secret meeting with Daniel? What could she possibly be asking him to do?
Given the context her impending departure, Daniel's feelings for Tessa, the most likely request is, well, it's both selfless in a way and utterly destructive to trust.
Which is?
That Daniel be there for Tessa. Step in, fill the void that Mariah is intentionally creating by leaving. Be Tessa's support system in Mariah's absence.
Wow, so Mariah might be essentially handing Tessa over to Daniel.
It appears that way. It's this kind of tragic calculus of self-sacrifice. It's possible Mariah genuinely believes she's doing the best thing for Tessa and Aria, sacrificing her own place in their lives because she views herself as the damaged, unstable element that needs to be removed for their safety and happiness long term.
Could it go even further, like giving him her blessing?
The sources raise that exact possibility, calling it potentially the ultimate blessing. If Mariah is truly planning to disappear for a while, or maybe permanently, She might give Daniel her explicit permission, maybe even encouragement, to pursue Tessa romantically.
With just one condition.
The likely condition, just be a good stepfather, be a good stepdad to their daughter, Aria Porter Copeland.
Yeah.
Ensure the child is loved and cared for.
That paints Mariah in such a heartbreaking light, believing her only loving option is to remove herself entirely.
It does, choosing self-exile over potentially bringing toxicity or instability into their lives. But even if her intentions are, from her perspective, pure, the method, using secrecy involving Daniel this way, it's fundamentally flawed. Hashtag tech tag 3.4, the danger of secrecy.
Because the immediate problem isn't Mariah's motive, it's Daniel's actions, right? Him agreeing to keep this enormous secret from Tessa.
Exactly. That's the immediate danger. Daniel keeping this secret, that he met with Mariah, that she might be leaving, that she might have even given him her blessing. It's universally seen in the sources as a recipe for disaster.
Why disastrous? Because it repeats the pattern.
Precisely. It directly mirrors the kind of corrosive secrecy that Mariah herself has engaged in recently. The kind of secrecy that Tessa has explicitly said she hates, that has damaged their relationship already.
Trust is the foundation.
And you can't build anything healthy on a foundation of lies or hidden agendas, especially not when you're dealing with the fallout of a separation, custody of a child, and the potential start of a new romantic relationship.
So if Daniel does step in, becomes Tessa's confidant, maybe more, and she eventually finds out he knew Mariah was leaving, maybe even had Mariah's blessing to pursue her, and kept it all secret.
That new relationship, if it ever starts, is poisoned from the beginning. It starts with the exact same wound, a fundamental breach of trust that seems to be ending the marriage between Mariah and Tessa in the first place.
It's a vicious cycle.
It really is. Secrecy, whether it's used cynically for corporate gain, like with Billy and Kane, or maybe with tragic intentions like Mariah, it ultimately seems to guarantee destruction. Billy hiding the risk from Sally, Kane and Michael hiding true allegiances, Mariah and Daniel hiding their pact from Tessa. In every single case, the secrecy intended to provide an advantage or maybe protection becomes the very thing that triggers the collapse. Hashtag tag outro.
So we've really covered a lot of ground today, a remarkable range of high-stakes plays, all kind of unified by this dangerous thread of secrecy.
Yeah, on the corporate side, we dug into Billy's incredibly reckless pursuit of Victor, driven by obsession, enabled by Kane's threat of illegal AI, and it's pushing him towards total isolation from Jack, from Sally.
Almost everyone.
Almost everyone. Then we untangled that really complex potential triple cross with Michael Baldwin. Is he Kane's fixer, Victor's spy, or maybe, just maybe, Kane's unwitting double agent controlling the intel flow to Victor? That whole dynamic raises huge questions about loyalty and who's really pulling the strings.
Right. And then we shifted to the personal realm, analyzing Mariah's deeply troubling, very secretive plot involving Daniel. It looks like a plan born of despair, designed to remove herself and clear a path for Daniel and Tessa.
A strategy, it seems, rooted in this tragic belief that she's no longer capable of providing stability, forcing herself into an exile sealed by this hidden agreement with Daniel. The cost is enormous.
And across both the corporate and the personal stories, that driving force seems so clear, doesn't it?
Unmistakably. Whether it's the pursuit of revenge, like Billy, or the pursuit of what someone tragically believes is best for others, like Mariah seems to be doing, it leads these characters to sacrifice their most important relationships, to risk absolutely everything, their future, their connections, their stability.
Billy risking his future with Sally just to get Chancellor back, to defeat Victor. Mariah risking Tessa's immediate trust, maybe their whole history, for what she perceives as Tessa's long-term security without her.
It's all incredibly high stakes and morally complex.
Which brings us back maybe to Michael Baldwin and his interesting justifications, claiming he's working for peace in Genoa City,
while simultaneously taking orders from Kane and spying for Victor Newman.
It leads to our final provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider. Think about Michael's position. Does true neutrality, real peacekeeping, actually exist when you are already embedded deep within one powerful faction's structure, when you're reporting directly to the head of that faction?
Or is every claim of neutrality in that situation, every attempt to position yourself as some kind of balancer standing above the conflict, is it just inevitably a more sophisticated, maybe even self-serving form of intelligence gathering for the bigger player who's ultimately benefiting from your actions, the one signing the checks? Metaphorically or literally.
Is genuine neutrality possible once you're inside the game? It's that constant tension, isn't it? Between self-interest and the greater good, between the stated motives and actual function. A tension that, in Genoa City at least, always seems to snap in favor of the secret motive, the hidden agenda.
Always used to.
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive.